Welcome to Apex Racing TV. It's the BSR Grand Tour in 2018, and we're here at the Imola circuit in Italy for all the action tonight. Andrew Woodhouse alongside Sam Fitzpatrick with Sam Kumo on the cameras. And, well, Sam, we've got 18 cars here at Imola. It's a smallish grid, but we've got a good group of drivers, so I'm sure we'll have some good races.
Yeah, definitely. Last time at Watkins Glen, we saw three really good races with the a bit of a mix of pace, but I thought it really worked well with drivers kind of making their way through the fields. We saw a few incidents. Hopefully, we'll see less of that today. But yeah, I think this will be a good one. Yeah, it looks as though all 18 are going to start, so yeah, should be good.
Well, it's a great circuit, is Imola, and of course used to host the San Marino Grand Prix. There's been a lot of talk about that coming back, but it's got a great flow to it. It's got all different types of corners. It's fast, it's flowing, and I think the drivers definitely will enjoy it. I know I do. Stuart McFadden looks like he's enjoying it as well in his first appearance of the season. Up there on the provisional pole position at the moment with Anwar Smith alongside him. Those two, Sam, look like they're quite a way clear of the rest of the field.
Yeah, really odd. Usually we don't see massive gaps necessarily in this series, but yeah, like you said, Stuart McFadden about a second clear of Lee Deemer, so clearly got a good flow around the circuit. It's kind of, I find this circuit a little bit odd how it's been changed so much, and we see circuits often being changed and kind of being a bit ruined, whereas this place just seems to get better with every modification. I'd say like the two chicanes to start the lap are two of the best in the world, so it is a terrific circuit, like you said, and yeah, certainly one of my favourites.
I know a lot of people have a moan about losing the flat-out run up to the Tosa hairpin, but in terms of actually, yeah, how fun those two chicanes are to drive at Tamburello and Villeneuve, I think you're right. I think they're up there, well up there, and you know, then once you're through Tosa, you've got the fast left at Piratelli, you've got Acqua Minerale, the double right, you've got the Variante Alto, which is really, really tricky to get right. You finish with Rivazza, which is a double left-hander, and onto what I do think is another good modification, Sam, is that they've lengthened the pit straight now. It's not really a straight, but it is now a lot longer, and it does give the drivers a chance to overtake into the first corner.
Yeah, definitely. I think in the old F1 days, we used to kind of see chains of cars. Of course, I was only 4 at the time, so I don't know too much about it, but yeah.
4 when it last came here?
No, 5, sorry, 5.
Oh.
So I'm exaggerating.
Wow.
Yeah, 06, wasn't it?
That makes me feel very, very old indeed. Just to give you an idea, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still in my 20s, so that's how, yeah, 5?
5, yeah.
So when Fernando Alonso won the race ahead of Michael Schumacher then in 2006?
That was 2005. So I think Schumacher beat Alonso in 2006.
There we go, it was one or the other, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They went, they traded it, didn't they, 1 year to the next, so...
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, the races were almost identical, weren't they, in how they finished up?
Yeah, with neither driver really being able to pull up a killer move, but yeah, like you said, now that long pit straight, it really does make some interesting overtaking into turn 1, because it really kind of narrows the circuit, and like you said, it's not a proper straight, so it can be very problematic down there. But,
I feel like as well, if you had a bit of DRS along here, I feel like it could be a really good overtaking opportunity even in the modern day.
Yeah, definitely. Like they've been talking about it actually being the Italian Grand Prix and ditching Monza, I think.
Which I hope they don't do.
Well, I think Monza's
Laidler in the gravel.
I think Monza's got a contract till like 2021 or something, so they would have to host it as like the European Grand Prix or something.
I think it would be very, very quick lap times though here. It's nearly a 5-kilometre circuit, but you'd be talking 1 minute 5 seconds, 1 minute 10 seconds around here, so it'd be bordering on Austria lap times, which I don't know is suitable for the modern day. I mean, it would be a faster race, that's for sure, but yeah, it'd be interesting to see what the guys actually do, because it wasn't a really big race in terms of laps around here anyway. It was one of the fastest races on the calendar. I think it used to be, off the top of my head, about 63 laps, something like that. And
yeah, I think you're right. Yeah,
and I think it's 60 or 63 laps, and that would absolutely fly by in the current F1 when you're doing, like I say, 1 minute 10s maybe around here, maybe less than that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I think maybe it'd be maybe 1 minute 15s. I think.
Right. Yeah.
Well, I don't really know what the Grand Prix says do actually,
I wonder what the lap
because
times
that's
were
there
in
every year.
'06.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it would cope well. And I think certainly for these GT3 cars, it is a great track. I think it's a really good
Maybe
combination.
maybe it wouldn't be so bad actually. I've got this. I mean, they would probably gain maybe about 3 or 4 seconds with the fact that the Variante Bass has now gone. So the pole position time was Michael Schumacher 122.7. That was in '06. Fastest lap of the race was 124.5. So yeah, you maybe see 20s now, which I think okay, that'd probably be okay. I think, despite getting rid of one of the slowest corners on the course. But we are lining up on the grid now for BSR Grand Tour action, and Stuart McFadden will be at the very front. Anwar Smith will be alongside him. Lee Deemer will be third. Luke Clark will line up alongside him in fourth. John Watson will be fifth, and then Michael Gray in sixth. Carl Hardy seventh. Jim Flanagan eighth. Max Wright ninth. Colin Robinson will be in 10th. And then it's Rafe Cullinan in 11th. Scott Malcolm 12th. 13th for Russell Laidler. Lane O'Connor 14th, Anthony Jacobson 15th, Mick Barry in 16th, Kip Stevens in 17th, and David Ayres will be in 18th place. Stuart McFadden's been making some really good starts recently, Sam, and I'll have to make a good one here to beat Anwar Smith to the first corner because he's been doing very well recently as well.
Yeah, Anwar was lightning quick at Watkins Glen, and looking further down the field, if you get 3 wide going into that first chicane, it very rarely turns out well, so they've got to be really careful in the kind of mid-pack as well. But yeah, McFadden will have the inside into the chicane. As long as he gets a decent launch, he should be okay.
Well, we're going to see what can happen. We know how important it is to have track position here at Imola. We were just discussing that, so McFadden will be hoping that he gets away well. Here we go. We're almost ready for the start. It's rising. The green light is on. Oh, and who's that? That's Deemer with a really poor start. He really lit up the wheels off the grid, and McFadden's already having to defend the inside from Smith into Tambirello. Smith tries to look round the outside, can't do it. See a battle in the mid pack between the two Mercedes. That's Gray and Wright, I think. Oh no, it's Gray and Hardy. They were fighting. Still fighting, but it's still McFadden from Smith, and these two might well break away now, Sam.
Yeah, I think we've got, is that Jim Flanagan's hand off? Not quite sure what happened there. I think with John Watson he's got together with. So
he's hit John Watson.
He tried to go on the inside, didn't he? That wasn't on really, and that's caused a little bit of contact just behind as well, so not good for Jim.
So McFadden, Smith, Deemer, Clark, Hardy's now 5th, 6th is Wright, and then it's Cullinan in 7th, 8th is Gray, 9th is Laidler, and 10th is Malcolm. We've got 14 laps here, incidentally, Sam, and so it is a bit of a sprint, but it's not a super sprint, is it? It's still going to take them 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm sure McFadden's going to be wishing it was a lot shorter than this, because he was really under pressure from Smith. Smith just needs to line this up, but like I was saying earlier on, it's so difficult to get down the inside going into turn 1. So narrow down there, and I'm sure McFadden can block the inside.
It's quite easy to block it off, isn't it, as well?
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll see down here, he'll just go right to the side of the circuit.
Well, relatively easy.
Yeah. And Smith, you just can't go around the outside here. Not too much defence actually for McFadden. He had the gap and so nearly gone into the back of him there, Smith.
Also, it's not the slowest corner in the world either, is it? Turn 1, so not a huge braking area. It's reasonably heavy on the brakes in these GT3s, but not to a major extent. Stuart McFadden is pretty good around here actually. We raced. I was in the race with him here when he took the win in BSR Formula Renault. I finished second to him on that occasion, but yeah, he does have some experience. He has won some races around here, so he'll be looking to make the most of that experience. Lee Deemer looking good in 3rd. This is the best we've seen him for quite some time.
Yeah, Luke Clark just hanging back a little bit in 4th bit. of no man's land. Max Wright, I think, managed to get the move on Ralph Cullinan going into turn 1. And yeah, right up into 5th now. And yeah, got a little bit of a train behind him. But yeah, quite a big gap, about 6 seconds between P4 and P5.
Oh, Wright's got a poor run out of there, and Rafe's got to run up the hill into the Variante Alta, which literally translates as high chicane. And it's high time for Rafe Cullinan to get past Max Wright, and he does it well. Now, Michael Gray having a look in the Mercedes. He's trying to challenge the Audi into Rivazza, but Wright holds the line. It's quite difficult braking here, Sam, because it's downhill. Doesn't matter how early you seem to brake, you barely ever seem to make the corner.
Yeah, absolutely. But it is one of those where if you can just hit the curb right, then it feels great. But here comes Laidler.
What a run by Gray.
On the outside. And not too much defence there from Wright. I spoke earlier how you just need to cover the inside line and you'll hang on to the position. But straight down the inside comes Gray.
Here we go.
Easy get it on the brakes.
Oh, lovely. Oh, off goes Cullinan.
Oh,
and then Wright hits Gray. So Cullinan was spinning, and then Max Wright going into Michael Gray. I remember having an incident here with Max Wright at the first corner myself in the Kia Club Series, but I think that was my fault, to be honest. And then not a lot you could do there. I think Gray might have checked up a tiny bit, seen Cullinan spinning. Might have to have a little look at that again. Sam, what did you make of it?
I wasn't quite sure on that one, to be honest. I kind of saw both incidents at the same time, but Russell Laidler up into P5 now. He gained 3 positions due to that. He just went straight through, got past Max Wright as well, and it turned out okay for Max, actually.
Oh, Smith's cut the course. I think he'll have a slowdown penalty.
Oh, that's a painful hit.
Oh, no, I don't think he does have one. But he definitely was well over the first chicane. He was nowhere near the course, to be honest. It was Smith on that occasion. Fadden sliding the rear of the Ferrari, but it actually helped him through the second part of Rivazza.
Yeah, got the car rotated a little bit, and McFadden seems relatively comfortable out in the lead. Smith perhaps just sizing up, looking where he's strong, where perhaps McFadden's weak. There's a little bit of traffic just ahead, gets out of the way well, and Smith, yep, no chance into turn 1.
It's funny because even though the traffic gets out of the way, it still kind of distracts you sometimes, doesn't it? And just puts you off into the braking zone, especially when it's that curved braking zone, like you've been saying for the most of the show so far. You've been pointing that out, that it does narrow there, and you've got to negotiate a lapped car. It makes it quite tough.
Yeah, and it's such a big braking zone, or such an important braking zone, because you mess it up ever so slightly and you're going to run wide onto the curb, perhaps damage your car and lose control. So it is a really important braking zone, and of course McFadden needs to make sure that he doesn't brake too early, otherwise Smith will be straight through.
Smith's all over him here, and McFadden put together a good qualifying time, but it's obviously the king of the race paces at the moment. Anwar Smith, he is right in the slipstream of the Ferrari, but this isn't the slipstream, this is pure pace. Is Anwar going to have a look into Variante Alta? It'd be very brave. He might be slightly stupid if he goes for it, but he's trying. And again, look, 4 wheels over the inside, no punishment.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the rule is on that. I know
it wasn't even on the red and white curb.
No. Oh, he's looking to the inside, a bit of a tap, and they both make the corner. That was a little bit too far from Anwar. Stewart defended ever so slightly, and Anwar just misjudged his braking zone. Small tap, but they both get through unscathed.
You only need a slight misjudgment there to run into the car in front. We've seen that many times over the years. It's been on the iRacing service now, Imola, for just under 2 years, I believe, and seen some great action here in many series. The Road Pro Series race that we showed here on Apex Racing TV in 2016-17 was one of the best races I've seen in single-seaters on iRacing. So, and Lee Diemer getting a bit wide. He just sort of followed those two, didn't they? They decided to kind of go a bit wide, and Diemer sort of subliminally sort of followed suit.
Yeah, really easy to do that. It's difficult to kind of get the pace all the way through that chicane, because you can either go a little bit slow on the through the first part and then nail the exit, or you can do vice versa. And that they kind of all went for the exit and tried to get on the power early. And yeah, they all kind of ran a little bit wide there, but you can go on the gravel there. That's kind of the racing line, I think. And once again, Smith's really closing in. You can't overtake really into the chicane, a little bit deep, I think, from McFadden. And yeah, can't quite get the drive out either.
It's funny you mentioned Luke Clark being in no man's land. Well, it's exactly the case. He's 3 seconds behind. Just going to watch this and see if Smith does anything into here. No. He's 3 seconds behind Lee Dima. He's 12 seconds ahead of Rusty Laidler. We're only on lap 5.
Yeah, and going 2 seconds a lap faster. It's a real just divide in the grid. I think Laidler started in P13, so he doesn't have great.
What a fantastic
pace, I think.
Yeah, but what a fantastic job he's doing.
Oh
in
yeah,
the 4
absolutely.
GT, and he's made his way through into the top 5, and well, it's just a great job. 13th on the grid, and I think it's the first time to the series. Let's have a look at the lap times. I mean, he's doing 43.1. Stuart McFadden's doing 40.2. So yeah, a massive gap, but Laidler's doing a great job. And you know what? I mean, there are only 2 cars all over him, Sam. It's not as if he's got the whole field behind him.
Yeah, he's just really been good at getting through the incidents. We saw the John Watson incident earlier on, then we saw the I think it was.
Oh, he's not good. Oh, no. Well, that's torn it,
he's
hasn't it?
ruined it. Oh,
He's torn it. He's
that's 3 in a week now.
He's gone over. Yeah. Well, he's hit that sausage curb on the inside, the sleeping policeman, and then he's got hit up the rear. But there's nothing that Max Wright could have done about it. Is he went on 2 wheels right in front of him, and Lane O'Connor's managed to get past Max Wright. O'Connor now up into 5th and started 14th on the grid in the Mercedes. So we'll see what he can do. O'Connor, he's done 42.5 was his last lap, so a bit quicker than Laidler, maybe half a second, but still a lot slower than the leaders.
Yeah, O'Connor gained 2 positions, I think, there, didn't he? Max Wright lost a bit of time. I think was he the one who made the contact? Max
Wright was unfortunate because it happened right in front of him, and there was nothing really he could have done.
Yeah, and he lost a bit of time there, and he kind of stays in that 6th place. I think he's got the pace for 5th, but got to make the move now.
We've got an excellent battle here for 8th place on the circuit, and that is Scott Malcolm, Colin Robinson, Anthony Jacobson, Jim Flanagan, and Rafe Cullinan is just about tagging onto this. He was 3 seconds behind this group. It's not going to be 3 seconds this time. It's down to about 1 second. So after Cullinan spun, it'll be fun watching the BMW try to come through the field.
Yeah, we saw last time at Watkins Glen, though, of course, the BMW really struggling for pace, but Jim Flanagan in this fact, he's so much faster than these guys. He's a couple of seconds a lap faster. Just needs to pick his way through, 2 tenths behind Colin Robinson. Robinson taking a slightly different line, getting an early apex. Flanagan not really getting the drive out of the chicane because he can go for an overtake at the hairpin. A little bit deep now for Robinson, and up the inside goes Flanagan, and he's up into 8th place.
Malcolm's got a little bit of damage on the front of the Mercedes. Just you can see the radiator is the grille on the front is slightly buckled, but he's still keeping them at bay. Flanagan, Robinson, Jacobson, and now Cullinan. It's Mercedes leading Ferrari, then Mercedes, then BMW, and then the 4 GT of Laidler, which actually Laidler could potentially get back to this group before the end as well, depending on what he does after his spin. But yeah, it's looking good. The front looks fairly steady, so I think this is the battle to watch at the moment. And they look like they're just closing in a bit on Malcolm this last lap, Sam.
Yeah, I think Malcolm might be the slowest of these guys. Flanagan, I think, he's so much faster. He's got to make the move here.
Jim Flanagan is a feisty driver. I know that firsthand. And he's a quick driver, and he will go for it if he gets the opportunity. So let's see if he will then. Pulls out the slipstream, goes to the right-hand side. It's a long way around here in Tamburello. Malcolm late on the brakes, you can see the carbon disc glowing. and he did a good job there. And that's exactly what you were talking about earlier, Sam. Just perfect defence.
Yeah, there was nothing Flanagan could do there, and you got to have. It's so low percentage to try to go around the outside. It has been done, obviously, but if Malcolm, misses his braking zone ever so slightly, you're both being taken out. So
I think what you
there's
have to
better
do.
places to overtake.
Sorry, I think what you have to do is try and set them up, because you've got 3 corners that you can sort of do a better line than the opponent through, and just set them up for the run to Villeneuve, and maybe you can get something done there. Robinson getting very sideways, and this might be Cullinan's chance in the BMW, up the inside into Acqua Minerale. It's not really an overtaking opportunity. He was just testing the water at Acqua Minerale, pardon the pun, and into Brianti Auto then. Cullinan, quite late on the brakes as well, but Robinson survives it. Oh, and that's Jacobsen. Oh, and he's gone. He's spun. And he's crashed. Anthony Jacobsen, well, he got, I wonder if he got a wheel on the Astra. Well, he did get wheels on the Astra. But here comes Smith trying to get the lead.
Yeah, I certainly saw 1/10 between the leaders, and down the inside, no. Well, I thought he a little bit half-hearted there. Don't think the move was on, but he made a mistake, dropped about a second behind, and now is right back on the tail. So he's got to get it done pretty soon, as Smith, hasn't he? We are on lap 9, so he's got a little bit of time, but he's got to be pretty quick.
Well, we have seen moves done into the Toaster Corner before. We've seen them on lap 1 indeed of this race in the past, and in Formula 1 that is. And it is an overtaking place if you nail Villeneuve. Now, what Smith needs to do, Sam, with 5 to go at the end of this one, is to just be patient. He's a quicker driver out there at the moment, so he just needs to, like I said, do a good setup job. Don't do a half move. Don't miss your braking point. Just get everything perfect. Be a little conservative. Should get the opportunity.
Yeah, he should, but McFadden's not making any errors. But like you said, there's no point in making half moves and not really, and just losing himself a tenth or two in each corner. He's got to be 100% committed. I think down into the hairpin, that might be his best chance, actually, because you can make a dive down there. And I think everywhere else, I think McFadden's got it covered. McFadden will be very happy just to defend right to the line now. So, yeah, it's going to have to be a surprise attack, I think, if Smith is going to do this.
Now, I'm not exactly a driving authority, Sam, but what I do try to do is I try not to make half moves at all, because just waste time, really. I don't mind a little weave about on the straight just before the corner, but I always try and make sure, if possible, I can get back to the racing line, because that's going to give me the best chance of making the pass further around the lap.
Yeah, absolutely. If you duck out just before the braking zone, just so that you get your braking spot about correct, then that's kind of okay. But ruining your driving line, making the corner more shallow than it is, there's really no point. It just ruins your line. And Smith getting close. The problem around this corner is that you can never get the drive on the exit. The driver ahead is always on the power, and McFadden can just block the inside hit. He's closer this time with Smith. If there's half a chance, he's surely got to go to the inside.
Here he goes.
Down the inside. But he's deep.
Oh, there goes McFadden, and Smith might lose out to Dima, because Dima is charging through Rivazza with a full head of steam. Oh, and he nearly lost it, Lee Dima, coming out the corner. But he is in the slipstream, and they come over to start lap 11. And Lee Dima, well, he's right there with a chance of second place. Let's see if he can do it over the start-finish line. He's not in the slipstream of Smith. In fact, I don't think he's interested in the pass here. Maybe just now we'll try and tag on to Smith and allow him to drag Lee Dima up towards the front.
Yeah, it may take them a couple of laps. We've got four more to go, including this one. So 1 second. I think he's got the pace to catch up, but I think it's going to be one opportunity left for Smith. But he had to go for it. That was by far his best chance of the race.
Well, Luke Clark's Luke Clark's day in no man's land is getting even more desolate because he's now 7 seconds behind Lee Diemer. He's 22 seconds ahead of Max Wright.
Yeah, that's incredible. And Wright's had it pretty lonely recently as well. He's kind of just been mixing in 5th place. I think he got past Lane O'Connor, didn't he? Didn't see that on camera. But,
That would have been that was a repass, wasn't it?
Here comes Flanagan.
That was a repass, was right, because he that was when Laidler went off, wasn't it? That O'Connor managed to get through. Here comes Flanagan's got through as well. So P6 for Jim Flanagan.
Yeah, good recovery drive from Flanagan. He might be able to get Wright. I think he's about a second a lap faster. So yeah, I think he might be able to get it done, Flanagan. And but you'll have to really nail every corner from now to the end.
You see the Ford GT out there in the hands of Laidler. We see many times that the Ford GT can still be a capable machine. Used to be a GT2 machine and converted by iRacing to a GT3. Did race in the old FIA World GT Championship about sort of, I think it was 2010, 11 season, I think. And yeah, did race in that in the old GT1 class, which later sort of became GT3, didn't it? It was a bit messy for a few years, that, Sam, wasn't it?
I don't know too much about it, to be honest. Also, I think Lane O'Connor's had issues coming to the pits from P7.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe running out of fuel.
Yeah, maybe just put the, I don't know, why you put 10 laps in and not the rest, but might be a fast repair. Could have had a knock somewhere, maybe a meatball.
Just watching him a couple of corners beforehand, and he seemed to be, his connection doesn't seem great, I must say. Although that might be my end, actually.
I think he might have just got out of the way a little bit. So let's have a look then. Lee Diemer is sticking right on Anwar Smith, so now he's lost the slipstream. Smith doesn't look too effective anymore, and Diemer fancy a chance at second place here. See what he does. He's right in the slipstream. Pulls out of the slipstream. It doesn't seem like he's really wanting to challenge Anwar Smith at all, Sam.
No, he's hasn't really looked too threatening so far, has he? And he got pretty close going into the final couple of corners, but couldn't really challenge properly. Seems to be a little bit reluctant to make the killer move. I guess watching Anwar earlier on not pull off his move isn't going to give him a whole lot of confidence. But yeah, it's
it was a great try, though, wasn't it?
Yeah. But like I said earlier, he had to go for it because it didn't lose him a position in the end. Maybe he lost him a chance at the win, but a better chance wasn't really going to open up for him.
Yeah, no, spot on. I think around this circuit, you've got to take the opportunities when they come, and because that's exactly what we mentioned before the show, how difficult it is to overtake, and yeah, that's proven to be the case. Overtaking moves around here have to usually be pretty good. Now, is Lee Diemer going to try one on Anwar Smith? He's got a good exit from the very anti-outer, and we'll see if he can use the momentum to travel down the hill in the slipstream. See if he can have a go into Rivazza. No, he's far too far behind at the moment, but Diemer looks like he's looked after the tyres pretty well, Sam, and he's really on the prowl.
Yeah, Smith is now about 3/10 of a second, 3/10 a lap slower than Stuart McFadden when we saw him really close earlier on. And once again, Diemer gets out of the slipstream a little bit, maybe due to the lap car, but if he was in the slipstream, he would be a tenth closer now. So I don't know why he's done that.
They're teammates.
Are they?
I don't know. No, I don't know. That. What's the explanation for that then? I've no idea. Because this is the last lap. I don't know really why he wouldn't be trying it. Maybe he just thinks, well, reverse grid, he'll get ahead of him. Maybe ahead of him for race 2. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he's just Doesn't feel like he's going to be able to pull it off and just settles
I think
for
he,
third.
well, I think he could.
Bit odd.
I think he certainly could pull it off. The way he's been driving out of Rivasta, he's got every chance of pulling it off, but he's not going to do it now, I don't think, because he won't get there before the start-finish line. Even now, he's not in the slipstream, so can't possibly be like. When we've seen it at the Daytona 500, you have to pull out the slipstream sometimes and cool the engine down, but not here.
No, that won't be an issue whatsoever. But yep, a little bit odd, but hopefully Lee Dima will be, like I said, Lee Dima will be ahead going into the second race. So yeah, hopefully maybe he'll be the other way round next race.
Well, it's kind of let Stuart McFadden off the hook, and incidentally, McFadden's now lapping in the low 40s again, so he's really found his groove here and looking very, very good indeed for the win. And here he comes, Stuart McFadden across the checkered flag, across the finish line. He takes the checkered flag and wins race one of the evening. I'll get it right at one point, Sam.
What? We've got 2 more chances.
He didn't cross the checkered flag, that's for sure. Nobody dropped it on the floor in front of him. Here comes Luke Clark, who finishes in 4th place. And then Max Wright and Jim Flanagan. Well, Wright's going to win that battle. And then there is a good battle going on the last lap, Sam, between Watson and Jacobson. They're very close.
Yeah, Watson's had a good recovery drive from that error earlier on. I think on the first lap he had an incident, so he's going to get 10th place. I think he just made the move on Jacobson, being a little bit faster. Oh, and Watson's got connection issues. Can he appear in time? Yes, he can.
He can.
Come on, cross the line. I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's all right. He's going to be okay, John Watson. Gets the line in P10. Ahead of Anthony Jacobson. Then it's O'Connor. O'Connor's going to come through. We're just waiting on David Ayres. We were waiting on Rafe Cullinan, but he's gone. Rafe Cullinan has disappeared. What has happened to him, the BMW driver? He's pulled it off to the side of the road, and he's just retired from the race, Rafe Cullinan. So, no idea what that is, whether that's technical or what, but yeah, out of the race on the final lap. So, Stuart McFadden takes the win. Sam, there's a little bit going on the chat that Smith's not happy with apparently McFadden moving across in the braking areas, but I didn't see that too much.
No, I didn't.
Didn't seem like it was an issue, but
because Anwar seemed to go for that one move, I thought that was like the one shot he had. I didn't really see him go for any other overtakes, so yeah, I'll maybe watch back the replay a little bit and see if there was any of that. But I thought it was quite good racing between the two of them. McFadden was pretty hard in the defending at times, but I thought it was all fair from what I saw.
I didn't see anything that seemed unfair, but again, we'd have to have a look at the drivers will probably have to have a little look at that afterwards. He celebrates with some donuts on the start-finish line. Yeah, we're going to take you through the finishing order then. Stuart McFadden with the win. Anwar Smith in 2nd place as McFadden crashes into the wall. Lee Dima in 3rd. Luke Clark finishes 4th in that no man's land. 13 seconds behind Lee Dima, 23 seconds ahead of Max Wright. It's only a 20-minute race. Max Wright in 5th. Jim Flanagan 6th. 7th for Scott Malcolm. 8th for Rusty Laidler. Colin Robinson in 9th. John Watson in 10th. 11th for Anthony Jacobson. Lane O'Connor 12th. David Ayres 13th, Rafe Cullinan in 14th, 15th for Carl Hardy, Kip Stevens in 16th. They were a lap down the last 3. And then the 2 Michaels, Gray and Barry, well, they were out of the race fairly. Well, Barry was out sort of halfway through, and Gray was out near the end, lap 11. So not great for him. Sam, do we have the reverse grid in play this week?
Yes, we do. It's for the second race.
Here we go then.
Let's see. Maybe we don't get full, but we'll see.
I think if it's a full, then it would be. If it's a full, it would be Kip Stevens. Gets on pole position.
It is full -2.
Full -2. we'll give it to Rafe Cullinan. Now, he's got some good pace out there. We saw that at the start of the race. So we'll see what he can do as we come back for BSR Grand Tour here on Apex Racing TV. We'll be back soon.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Imola circuit and the BSR Grand Tour. Andrew Woodhouse, Sam Fitzpatrick and Sam Kumo this time on the cameras here on Apex Racing TV. We're here on race 2. It's another 14 laps around this historic venue, the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari. And, well, Sam, Rafe Cullinan on pole. We saw him spinning out of a promising position earlier on in race 1. He's got some redemption to try and find here, but I think he can do it.
Yeah, I think he's probably would be my pick for this race. I'd say he's compared to the drivers around him, I think he's looking pretty strong there. Also, John Watson starting in 5th. He was fast in that first race, but got caught up in an instant. I think he'll be one to watch as well.
This is a great circuit for the BMW as well. Just the general flow of it seems to suit this car really, really nicely. And yeah, I think it's going to be good for Cullinan. Rolling start here then, and the standing start, of course, in race 1, rolling in race 2, puts maybe a little more pressure on Cullinan, Sam, but I'm pretty sure it's not the first time he's been at the front of one of these.
Yeah, if anything, it might actually benefit him if he can get a little bit of a break away from the field. But yeah, everyone behind, it's difficult to tell if this is going to cause more issues or less issues. First race we saw a good clean start. Hopefully we'll see the same here.
Well, nobody's really needs to be careful that David Ayres doesn't get a big overlap. He needs to kind of slow down and back it up, and there he goes. Oh, look at that jump. What a jump that is. Ayres was actually caught napping at the end. And look at Laidler from 7th on the grid. He's going to be 3rd. Oh, he's slowed down. What's happened to Rusty Laidler? Oh, and there's a crash. There's going to be a crash. Oh, Laidler bashing into Flanagan, bashing into Robinson. And they're still bashing through Tamburello, leaning on Flanagan. Laidler's off in the gravel.
You spotted that about 15 seconds before it happened, didn't you? That was always going to happen. Colin Robinson looking for the inside, going into the chicane.
Oh, he's got it on Clark. Oh, off goes Flanagan. He's across the gravel. Oh, look at them all. They're everywhere, right? Max Wright's on the grass. Malcolm's coming up the inside. The 3 wide in the middle, McFadden, Flanagan, and there's somebody round. I think it's Smith. It was Smith, and also round or in a bit of bother was Michael Barry as well.
Yeah, Barry right down to the back now, just ahead of Rusty Laidler. Yeah, more chaotic start there. We've got side by side between Stevens on the outside, not going to make it round there, and Wright makes it 3.
Sorry, I was umming and ahhing because Watson went off, and in his pursuit of Cullinan, it's in 2nd place now. John Watson, good start. Good start by him. Sorry, he's not in 2nd place at all. Oh, he's got a slow down. That might be why he's chopped down behind Colin Robinson and Jacobson as well. David Ayres is now in 2nd place again. Jacobson, then Robinson, then Watson. Then Luke Clark, then McFadden. Oh, Clark's got a slow down, and there go them all. And into the pits comes Flanagan, so must have had a meatball or something like that.
The first lap is so bad for the slow down. Must have picked it up a while ago. I think probably coming out of that chicane onto the back straight, and really got bad side by side.
Sorry, Sam, to interrupt there, but something has happened to Anwar Smith, and he's not happy about it. In fact, just after we cut away, it appeared that he got suspension damage, and he's had to tow back to the pits. He's not happy with the driving out there. You know what? I can't say I blame him on that lap one. It was a bit poor.
Yeah, it kind of just got worse and worse. There were plenty of signs that it was chaotic, and they didn't really sort it out, did they? So,
do we know why Laidler dropped back after he got such a great start?
Do you think
he might
didn't see what happened to him.
Overtook illegally, maybe?
Yeah, I'll go back to that one, see what happened. But yeah, like you said, he's in the pits now. So yeah, not too much damage on that car, but yeah, had to return to the pits.
Well, a 42.0 for Cullinan on the previous lap. David Ayres 44.5. Although that is the opening lap. Actually, it's been unfair to read out the lap times from that. Robinson now giving real pressure to Jacobson, and we'll see what he can do down the hill and into Rivazza. And also look at Stuart McFadden. He's lining up John Watson for a move.
Yep, straight down the inside. Got it done.
Well done.
That was simple for Stuart McFadden, looking
Easy
like
one.
another strong result for him. And right onto the back of Colin Robinson and Anthony Jacobson. Robinson all over the back. Will Jacobson defend? It doesn't look that way, although Robinson not staying in the slipstream. We saw the same thing happening earlier for the leaders, but still on the inside goes Robinson. Might see 3 wide.
Oh no,
Oh,
that's Smith returning to the
Yep.
Smith
Oh,
returning
they're
to the
so
course.
slow
They're all
on the
very
apex.
slow into the Tamburello, and McFadden hitting Jacobson. Smith's off in the just keeping out of trouble for now. Look at this now, McFadden. He's going to be the one to watch, Sam, in this little pack.
Oh, he's falling
Oh.
down and they're wide again for. Oh, wow.
Oh, John Watson.
Watson on the grass.
He's trying to go around the outside.
Oh, more
Bash.
contact on.
Robinson's off.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he made all
Dima,
that
look
work.
at Dima.
He's lost so many positions. Dima just picks up all of these issues, and I think has gained about 4 positions on this lap. There he goes. Stuart Dima, Lee Dima, perfect.
There we go. Up into 4th position now. It's Lee Dima. That's really well done indeed. And he did it quickly as well. Yeah, mate. Sam, I wonder if you could hold the fort for me for a minute. I need to just do something for a few minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Carl Hardy, this is a terrific train that we're seeing. Must be about 10 cars all in a row. And of course, all got the slipstream on one another, but there's such pace differentials with the leaders from the first race making their way through the field. And they're really looking for the passes through. By the way, Ralph Cullinan in the lead by 7.5 seconds. So Cullinan looking pretty strong for this one. Looks like he's just going to be able to run away. But McFadden closing on Ayres. And now Gray looking for the inside hit on Scott Malcolm. And pretty simple for Gray, just side by side up ahead as well. I think that was Jacobson defending from John Watson. Watson's had a bit of a problematic last lap, but that chain of cars is absolutely incredible. And a few drivers kind of dropping down the field. Stuart McFadden all over the back of David Ayres now. And I think McFadden's going to make this move very soon. Oh, we've got a spinner. John Watson off the track and back to the pit. So I said it was a problematic last lap, and he just dropped it on the exit up the hairpin, got on the grass, and a smash into the wall. So John Watson was with a disappointing result in this second race. And now McFadden looking for the way past. This is risky, going into the chicane around the outside. Oh, just about avoid contact. Ayres tried to fight back but couldn't, and now here comes Dima straight through. Dima, I think, might have the pace for second place if he can keep it up. And yet Dima up into 3rd place, and it should be interesting to see if he can keep up with McFadden to the end. Should be a good little duel between them two. Ayres just got to make sure that he holds onto this P4, 3.5 seconds clear of that massive pack just behind, but he is struggling for pace, got a bit of damage, so I think he's going to be under attack very soon. Luke Clark seems to be the closest out of this train to making a move on Colin Robinson. Clark looking to the outside, Robinson defended well. Clark's got to pull off a terrific move here. Can't quite make it, but can get the cutback, trying to get the run into the second chicane. And he's got a terrific run, actually. He can look to the inside, not too much defence from Robinson. Down the inside goes Clark, and made that one very well. No answer from Robinson to try to fight back, and he's actually under pressure now from Carl Hardy, who we haven't seen too much of today, but Hardy doing a decent job in P10, started in 15th, so a good drive through the field for him, picking up the issues from other drivers. Other big movers, Stuart McFadden from 14th to 2nd, Lee Dima 12th to 3rd, and Michael Gray 17th to 5th, so brilliant drive from Gray, picking up a lot of positions up there. This train is slightly spreading out a little bit now. A few gaps emerging, but we've still got a big train from about 6th to 13th. of plenty of cars. And Ayres at the front of this pack, or just in the pack ahead actually, looking for a move on Gray. Sorry, Gray just made the move on Ayres actually, sorry about that. Ayres drops down to 5th, told you he was struggling with pace. He's actually 3 seconds slower than the leaders at the moment, so really struggling out there. Got a bit of damage, but yeah, he's just going to be a sitting duck for the cars behind. Coming down the pit straight again for this big pack. Clark again close. Oh, that's going to be a long way back, not quite. Just had to back out. And oh, just wide there. Scott Malcolm made an error, and now he's side by side trying to get in on the action. It's Max Wright, and it's 2 by 2 going into the second chicane. Gotta try to sort this one out. It's side by side. Malcolm hangs it around the outside. Good defense from him, but it could carry on into the hairpin. And just behind Max Wright's going to lose a position. That's deep from the Ferrari of Mick Berry. And Berry makes it through, but no. Oh dear. Big impact right into the side of Mick Berry. And that's, oh, I think, was there more damage? No, so Max Wright just hit another wall actually. And just got on the grass again and spun into the side. And actually, it looks like Mick Berry has got damage for himself. It was quite a big hit actually, and yeah, Mick Berry struggling out there. I think has Robinson just lost a position to Hardy? Yes, he has. Hardy passed Robinson and into P8 now. And actually, Deemer's got past McFadden, I think. So, must have been an error from McFadden. In fact, I think he may have had a slowdown at the end of that last lap. And, yeah, Lee Deemer up into second place, showing really good pace, actually, in this second race. Didn't have a terrific first race. He was kind of there or thereabouts. Or sorry, he was fighting in third place, wasn't he? But he couldn't really exhibit his great pace. But in this race, driven really well out there, so up into second place. Not going to catch Cullinan 6 seconds up the road. Clark looking for more moves out there, and actually trying to go on the inside here. Difficult on the brakes. Down the inside he goes, and Clark making good progress through the field. He's up into 5th place. I think that's as good as it's going to get for him. But yeah, really good drive from Luke Clark in this one. Showed in Watkins Glen the type of pace that he's got, but got quite unlucky at times. He showed good race car, but was just really unlucky with a couple of incidents. And good drive through the field in this one. And down the inside goes Jacobson. Couldn't quite make it. Just has to sit behind David Ayres a little bit longer. Ayres, like I said earlier, got a lot of damage and falling down the field quite rapidly. Was running in second place, and that's deep, deep, deep from Jacobson. I don't think that was an overtaking move, but he tried to make it. And now he's got to try to get the run down the straight. He's dropped it back a little bit into the clutches of Carl Hardy. We could have 3 wide potentially going into turn 1. Jacobson hasn't got the straight line speed, and here comes Hardy. And Jacobson's late to the bend, and Hardy should make this one pretty easily. And straight down the inside goes Hardy into P7. He's had a good drive actually, as Hardy started in P15. And yeah, done a good job to gain all those positions.
Okay. Back. It's been a good race so far, though. I've been keeping an eye on it. Watson and Wright crashing. Lots of good battles up the front, and now McFadden's been in the pits. Why is that?
When he lost the position for second, he was just very slow coming out of the final corner. I thought maybe a slowdown, but
It's been in the pits, I think.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's got anything to do with it. Seems to be running fine out there. Maybe just a lack of fuel.
Maybe put the qualifying fuel in or something by mistake. It's happened before. We've seen it. Seen it many times. Thanks for stepping in, Sam, and carrying on anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
I do appreciate that.
And my parents actually just had a spin, by the way, and he's got towed back to the pits, so that's in his day, or in this race at least.
David Ayres and Carl Hardy could be quite interesting because I think they're teammates. So here comes Hardy, trying to attack Ayres as they start lap 9. We have the start-finish line now. And here we go. It's a much better looking Mercedes for Hardy than it is for David Ayres, with the damage on the front and maybe a tiny bit of damage to the back, up the inside into Tamburello. Hardy's late enough on the brakes, makes a nice clean move, and that's up to 5th place.
Yeah, Hardy's just picked these drivers off one by one, and yes, had a good pace up into P5, like you said. And as I don't know what happened to him to cause all that damage, but he's just been going backwards through the race, and yeah, he's going to lose a few more positions now. Oh, he nearly loses it actually.
Oh yeah.
It's like that was Jacobson, I think.
How's Michael Barry? Michael Barry spun. I was just about to ask how Michael Barry was doing after he got hit, and the answer is doesn't look like it's particularly well. So he got absolutely crunched by the Audi of Wright, who's incidentally alongside him right now, and he's going through.
Yeah, I felt really sorry for Michael Barry there. Yeah, he couldn't do anything about it, and yeah, just a spear into the side of his car.
Bad luck for Max as well, really. You know,
yeah.
He looks like he's got some pace out there, but the Audi is now crumpled and dented as there is chance to win the race. Here comes Kip Stevens, having a look on David Ayres, and also a move by, an attempt by Robinson on Jacobson into Rivazza, but he staves it off for now, does Anthony Jacobson. I wonder if he can keep the Ferrari behind at the end of the straight. The Ferrari's strength, Sam, is that at the end of these long straights, it's got great top speed.
Yeah, I think it's got the top speed of anyone, and down the outside, not going to make it around there. He'll try all the way round. Yep, made it. So much space given by Anthony Jacobson. We saw earlier on quite cautious in racecraft, and he's dropped another place, and now here comes Scott Malcolm on the outside. I think he might just swoop straight round here.
Oh, lovely.
Easy.
That's nicely done by Scott Malcolm. Tell you what, it looks like Scott's having a lot of fun out there tonight, and I reckon he is, because great driving, good defensive work. Here comes Kip Stevens on David Ayres again, looking for P6. This time into Piratella. Quite good resilience by Ayres, car 666. Wonder if he enjoyed Friday the 13th. Bit of a freaky Friday though for him maybe. But Kip Stevens, well, every day's a freaky day for him. He's having a look on David Ayres. Gets a good exit. Here we go then, 2 times the BSRTC champion Kip Stevens, and he's also been a winter BSR Winter Series champion as well in the Mazda MX-5, here in the German GT3s in the Mercedes. Gets a good exit, Sam, and this is really the time when he can wind up a move now, and he's on the right side of the track as well.
Yep, got less aero damage, so pretty easy for Kip Stevens there, straight past David Ayres.
Ayres takes a wide.
Got used to drivers going past him, hasn't he, today?
Well, Ayres took a wider line down the straight as well. It looked like he'd kind of given that one up as it happened. But nicely done anyway by Stevens, and he moves up to 6th place. He's got 3 seconds to Carl Hardy. Hardy in the mid 42s. Stevens is fast lap of the race, 42.2. So there is a good opportunity for him to at least challenge Carl Hardy in the last 4 laps. Let's see if he can do it. But you've got to give a word to Michael Gray though. He's up 14 positions.
Yeah, I'm really under the radar. I think he got a really good start. Only had a few cars to pass in that big pack, And yeah, he's done great. Lee Dima is now only second behind Ralph Cullen. I don't know how that's happened. Cullen was about 8 seconds ahead at one point.
Dima has
And
been
now-
flying.
Yeah, a second a lap every lap, I think. He's so consistent as well, every time. Like
Oh,
40.0.
there's a car
Oh,
spun, and that's Layla in the gravel. Just quickly on Lee Dima. Oh, Layla's going
he's around again.
But Dima, he's done the fastest lap of the race, 1:39.986. Fastest legal lap of the race. Anyway, Anwar Smith has gone faster, but it must have been with an off track.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's looking
brilliant.
great out there.
He's so fast, and he's in the low 40s, Sam. Mid 40s now every time. And Cullinan, well, he just can't answer him in the BMW. He's doing good lap times, Cullinan, 41.3. And he's miles quicker than most of the other drivers on the field, but not Lee Dima.
Dima's been great in this race. But, so I thought one of the leading tours just spun there. A lot of tyre squeal. And, yeah, Cullinan just hasn't had the pace. I wondered if Dima was a bit cautious in the first race, wasn't he? Didn't want to go for the move for second place. And I wonder if he's going to be aggressive enough to take the challenge to Cullinan, because he's really got to be decisive here, because the race win's right there.
That's an interesting point, and I think there's only one way to find out, isn't there? And we're going to see that in the last 2.5 laps of this race. Race 2 of the BSR Grand Tour meeting here at Imola. Andrew Woodhouse and Sam Fitzpatrick here for Apex Racing TV. Sam Kumo providing you the footage you're seeing on your screen right now. And you are seeing Rafe Cullinan ably staying ahead of Lee Dima, but for how long? Because the BMW, oh dear me, Dima all over the place. And that's where the BMW is strong, Sam, coming out of the corner and just the general agility of it.
Yeah, absolutely, and that might make it quite difficult to pass, because we've seen going into turn 1, you can quite easily defend, so unless he messes up the exit of the final corner, I think he might be okay. And really every other place, it's kind of the exit of a tight twisty sections, and that's where the BMW's fast. So you know what, that kind of slow speed down the straights of the BMW may not be too costly, but Dima, he's got so much more.
Oh, Cullinan with the big slide through the exit of Villeneuve. Now he's really got to hold the inside line in Tosa. Now, Dima gets a great exit. Cullinan's going to have to block the inside into Piratella, surely. Surely he has to come across. Dima's going to be through here, is he? No. Now that is what I was talking about earlier on, Sam. Dima saw that the move wasn't on, moved instantly back to the racing line, and he set him up now. He's even closer as they go through Aqua Minerale.
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a chance there, but you're right, just needs to stay close. And I think...
But that's the difference between him dropping to 3/4 of a second and actually being just 2 or 3 tenths behind, is just not making that half attempt at an overtake. And there goes Cullinan again, giving it everything on the exit of Variante Alta. And the run down to Rivazza is going to be crucial, Sam, with just 1 lap to go.
Yeah, he's got to defend. Will he go to the inside? That's deep. No, not quite. I thought he might.
He's lit on the brakes there.
Yeah, and you know what? That was a half move, I thought. And it's lost him a little bit of tyre. It's cost him about a 10.
I think that one, though, I think you can excuse that one purely for the fact that I don't think he anticipated Cullinan would be as late on the brakes as he was. And again, Dima decides that he's not going to bother with the slipstream into Tamburello. I wonder if he's worried about running into him on the brakes.
Yeah, but you can still get the slipstream down the straight, can't you? Unless you mean like not getting too close.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't want to be too close because he thinks he might run into him, because these GT3 cars, they are quite large. So, your vision can be obscured. This is a great exit. This could be a chance.
God, just go all out on the outside.
Really deep on the outside, and Cullinan loses rear, but he still somehow manages to fire the BMW out of the Tosa hairpin, level with the Mercedes, and the BMW is maintaining the straight line speed with the Mercedes. Here we go into Piratella. He throws it in, Cullinan. Does he have the adhesion? Does he have the grip? Yes, he does, is the answer. Dima tries to cut back, but Cullinan is on the inside for Aqua Minerale. There is no overtaking through here. Now, Sam, this could be the moment for Dima. Maybe not into Variante Alta now, but He needs to just have a good chicane and set him up. Cullinan is breaking in the middle of the course.
Oh,
Just
he's
not
wide.
the optimal line.
Oh, he's got to defend here. Got to go all out defense line. Get to the
Oh,
inside,
he
get to the
pushes him, he
inside.
hits him. Makes a bit of contact on the straight now.
Oh, he's trying to steal the dummy. Oh, he's got to. You got to defend. You got
Is he
to
going to have a
defend.
second chance? Is he going to be down the inside?
Oh,
Cullinan
he's
goes
wide.
deep. He goes deep on
He's
the brakes.
got
He's
him.
on the grass and
Oh,
leads.
they can get the
through,
run-off.
but it's the final corner. And can Cullinan respond to that passing move by Dima? He's going to be very close. The line's coming up. Cullinan's got the shortest run, but I think it's going to be Dima. It is indeed. Lee Dima gets to the line and wins a brilliant battle. Brilliant.
Oh, that was so good, but
Carl
he had
Hardy
it,
keeps
didn't he?
Stevens. Hardy's on the inside for some reason. Might just give Stevens a sniff. Hardy was defending into Rivat, so I don't think he needed to. He's out of fuel. He's
Oh,
out
he's
of
trying to
fuel,
push
and
him
Stevens
along.
is trying to push him across.
Oh.
But here comes Colin Robinson. He's not going to bother with that. He's going to say, I'll take those 2 places, thank you very much, and go up into 5th place.
Oh, they've lost 2 more positions, haven't they? They haven't crossed the line yet.
Yeah, that was a,
There you
that
go.
was a-
Oh,
Oh, there's a huge smash. That's a big smash. Is that David Ayres? And through the middle goes Max Wright and says, well, my race has been terrible. I'll take those extra places. It's unbelievable. In fact, he doesn't take any place. That's beyond the line, isn't it? Where they have crashed. The line is actually in the middle of the... that's first right-hand... The second right-hand kink, isn't it? So... Oh, what a race that was. What a brilliant last lap.
Yeah, I really thought Cullinan had it because, yeah, he kind of made all the right defensive moves and just outbreak himself, didn't he, into that front penultimate corner.
The one
And,
little mistake was enough,
yeah.
wasn't it? And that's motor racing, that's GT3s.
Yeah, and it wasn't as though Dima was going for the move necessarily. I think it was just the pressure just got to him, and still nearly brought it back, but not quite.
Well, great stuff there anyway, and well, we'll see what's going to happen in race 3. That'll be that grid will be set by finishing positions, but Lee Dima will be top dog in this one, 0.064 ahead of Rafe Cullinan. Michael Gray in 3rd. He came from 17th on the grid and did a fantastic performance really there. Luke Clark in 4th, Colin Robinson P5. Scott Malcolm was in 6th. It was Anthony Jacobson in 7th, Carl Hardy 8th, Kip Stevens 9th, David Ayres 10th, Max Wright in 11th, and then Jim Flanagan 12th, Michael Barry 13th despite the damage. And then cars one lap down, Rusty Laidler and Anwar Smith. I don't think either of them particularly pleased with other people's driving out there. Stuart McFadden retired, as did John Watson and Lane O'Connor. It didn't look like he took the start at all. So, well, we've got to catch our breath, and we're going to be back for race 3 here on Apex Racing TV. You've got to stick with us in the BSR Grand Tour when that continues after the break.
iRacing.com is a sim racing game that combines a true-to-life racing experience with an online community of virtual racers from all over the globe. iRacing offers a multitude of officially licensed cars and tracks, laser scanned with millimeter accuracy. Their car models and mechanical systems are based on real-world physics and engineered in cooperation with manufacturers and race teams. iRacing's web-based interface allows members to compare stats and test drive any combination of car and track instantly. Their skill license system ranges from rookie to pro, ensuring members are always pitted against those with similar skill sets. Members are able to sign up for a weekly race series, compete in time trials, host a private race with friends, and participate in racing leagues created and run by the community. With over 60,000 members, iRacing works in partnership with renowned motorsport organizations like SRO Motorsports Group to deliver virtual races based on the real-life Blancpain GT series. iRacing's Blancpain Endurance Series features team racing, giving members the ability to build a team and participate in races ranging from 3 hours to 24 hours. Additional partners include NASCAR, IMSA, V8 Supercars, IndyCar, allowing members to race in their very own 24 hours of Spa, Bathurst 1000, Daytona 500, and many more. iRacing.com, delivering the most authentic racing experience short of getting into a real race car.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Apex Racing TV. Welcome back to the BSR IMSA series. This is not Andrew Woodhouse. This is Adam Bath with Sam Fitzpatrick and Sam Kumo. Getting set for the final race of the day. You may have noticed the eagle-eyed among you that we've also got a standing start for this one, and we've got Andrew Woodhouse on the grid. So all to play for, Sam. As we're a few seconds away from getting the start here.
Yep, starting from 17th place was Angie, and certainly looking for the win. But Lee Deemer looking strong in that second race, and about to get off underway here.
Here we go. Should have mentioned that it's Deemer on the pole. We're away. Someone stalled. It's shades of 94, but thankfully Ferrari gets going. But it's going to be right at the back of the grid. Which one was that? That was Colin Robinson. A disaster for him away from the line, but it's Deemer that leads into the Tamburello chicane.
Yep, so far so good, isn't it? Was it Max Wright? I think may have had an issue. Yeah, Max Wright had an issue. He's had a feed state. Got together with someone else, but it was relatively near the tail of the field. But yep, Deemer off to a great start.
To the Tosa hairpin then. Andrew Woodhouse has got a few people made it up to Tosa for the first time as he sliced the Mercedes through. Reliably informed before we got to the break that Woody wanted to show these guys how it was done. And he's getting a few positions already as Kip Stevens and David Ayres are in a battle as we go up to the Piratella. And just behind them, David Ayres was going wheel to wheel with Anwar Smith as going to Aquinum and Arali. But as we go up the hill into the Varianti Outer, is Dima leading. Second, Michael Gray. Third, Rafe Cullinan. Fourth, Luke Clark. Fifth, Scott Malcolm. Sixth, Jim Flanagan. Seventh, Anthony Jacobson. And someone has to cut across the chicane there. Sam, that's Michael Gray.
Yeah, it's going to lose them a lot of time because slow down on this opening lap is very costly. David Ayres really under pressure from Anwar Smith. He had a poor second race, but was superb in the first race. Smith down the inside. Can he get it stopped? Yes, he can. Nice move from Anwar Smith up into P10.
Good start. Started 15th on the grid, Anwar Smith. So the Mercedes doing pretty well as they come out of the Rivazza to come across the line to complete the opening lap of the race. Worth mentioning, a 35-minute race for this for the third and final race of the day, and with a pit stop included as well. So we'll see how that goes. Wheel to wheel between David Ayres and the Mercedes, and that's Rusty Laidler in the Ford. Laidler trying his best, and that's not gone at all well, and that's goodbye to David Ayres. Looks like he went deep into the Tamburello chicane, got on the dirty part of the circuit, got a bit of grass, got a bit of those bumpy curbs, and around goes the Mercedes.
Yeah, he was desperate not to hit the curbs, otherwise he would have lost it anyway. And yeah, not good whatsoever. Anwar's just made up another place, by the way. Up into P9, got past Anthony Jacobson, and Luke Clark actually really close to Ralph Cullinan. Clark hasn't really exhibited amazing pace today, but looking really strong in that P3.
Yeah, and he's chasing down the BMW.
Ralph Cullinan, big off.
Oh, that shows me for looking at a replay. Ralph Cullinan off at the Aquinum and Arali. That's the BMW losing it on entry, flies across the inside of the circuit. Thankfully, there's runoff area and gravel there to stop him hitting anything. And then the BMW losing out big time there. Cullinan down to 4th after that massive scare. And a bit of damage as well to the front end as well. That's a bit of a beating.
Yeah, and he's got a fast pair, so I wouldn't be surprised if he hits a few laps early in the first half of the race just to get that fixed, because that's going to affect him down this straight. And of course the BMW isn't exactly fast anyway down the straight, so he's going to be really struggling down there. Going to be a sit and duck potentially. Flanagan looking for a move on Malcolm. Flanagan was great at Watkins Glen, not so good today, but here he goes down the inside, looking to redeem his day. Deep on the curves, but he's made it and wide, just behind for Malcolm, and Gray's got past.
Yeah, great battle there. Unfortunately for Malcolm, is looks like his teammate from the paints I've got has got through, and now it's the turn of Kip Stevens in the 18 Mercedes to try and have a go on him as well. But Anwar Smith has been the man of the moment. Spoken a bit about him earlier. Sam, he's up the inside going into Toaster there, and through goes the 88 Merc. That is Anwar Smith now up into 7th position. We saw how good he was at the Glen last week. Could he get the job done here today? He's gained 8 positions already. He is 9 seconds off the lead though, so he's going to have to gain a bit more time if he wants to be in the reckoning for winning the third race of the day. What's his progress been like in the earlier 2 races, Sam? Did he get any wins there?
First race he qualified second and finished second. Nearly managed to get the move on Ralph Cullinan, I think he was leading. Not quite sure, but and then second race he got caught up in an incident. So he's one of the fastest out there, no doubts, and I think the podium's still very much on.
Yeah, I think as far as I'm aware of the rules, the third race grid is set on the results from the second race. So Lee Deemer, who did well in race 2, doing a business again here is Anwar Smith looking up the inside going into the Rivazza. That's got Malcolm in front of him, and he's in 6th position where he started, and the Merc gets a great run on the exit. We're going to see what Anwar Smith can do with the slipstream. After Scott Malcolm, it's going to be Jim Flanagan, who's also had a very good start. 7 positions gained for him. Here comes Smith then. Malcolm opens the inside going into the Tamburello, so that's going to be Smith up the inside then if he can get the braking sorted out. And it's going to be his 9th position gained since the start of the race. Smith just about makes the... Oh, Malcolm gone. I don't know whether Malcolm was just following him. Thankfully he's able to save the car though. I thought he was going to have to spin it. But yeah, Malcolm losing a few more places, down to 9th now.
Yeah, I was thinking so. I think he got right on the brakes once he got the slide, and it reduced the amount of time he lost. But still not good for him whatsoever. And Flanagan actually on the back of Gray. Gray may have made an error on this lap, and Gray looking too fast and was going to be past. Both of these, I feel quite soon. He's that quick, but he's got to be efficient about it because he can't afford to lose much time.
Yeah, well, Flanagan and Anwar Smith, two of the quickest drivers in the race so far, both gaining 7 and 9 positions respectively. So these two, you reckon if they can both get by Michael Gray, then they're going to be off on one together. Right now, it looks like Anwar Smith is the one that wants to get by Jim Flanagan going into the Variante Alta, the top chicane or high chicane, taking a huge amount of curbs. Absolutely, curves are pretty high for that chicane there, and now Michael Gray could be under pressure going into the Ravazza. A difficult place to get an overtaking manoeuvre done just because it's downhill and it's such... Oh, he hits him!
Big hit! Oh
Dear, well that's Anwar Smith bump and run ×2. It's going to be Flanagan through, and thankfully for Michael Gray, he doesn't result in any major damage, but yeah, bump and run quite significant there, Sammers. Cullinan is in 3rd, Flanagan 4th, and now Smith in 5th.
Yeah, and Hardy's trying to get past Gray now. It's so unfortunate for Gray, he had nothing to do with that. And yet he paid probably more than anyone else. And down the inside goes Hardy and past Gray. So Gray went from 4th to 8th there. So really unlucky for him. Should at least be able to fight back. He hasn't got too much damage.
Credit to Jim Flanagan there, because the car could almost spun out on when he got hit by Anwar Smith there, and Smith's got the move done. That is into Tosa, and Flanagan not able to respond, so that is Anwar Smith up into 4th position now. He has got a bit of a gap now to close to Ralph Cullinan, gap of around 4 seconds. See how long it takes for him to do that. Race order then. On lap 5, it's Dima leading Clark by 4 seconds, and it's Cullinan 4 seconds behind him in 3rd, then another 4 seconds back to Flanagan and Smith. Smith now ahead of Flanagan, of course, pulling away quite a bit as well. Then it's Kip Stevens in 6th, Hardy 7th, Gray 8th, Malcolm 9th, 10th Jacobson, Rusty Laidler's gained 3 positions to 11th, John Watson 12th, Colin Robinson in 13th. From 6th down to 13th, it's all pretty much nose to tail. And then it's Max Wright, Andrew Woodhouse gaining 2 positions already in 15th on his own bit there. And then at the back it's Mick Barry and David Ayres, who had that spin at Tamburello on the 2nd lap of the race. So that's the state of play as we're 9 minutes into this one, and there's a pit stop window coming up in the not too distant future.
Got a bit of a chain now falling behind Scott Malcolm. Got Jacobson, Laidler, Watson and Robinson all following very closely. Decent straight line speed though for Malcolm. Might be under pressure here going into turn 1, not quite for Jacobson. And Laidler's been involved in quite a few incidents today. Still running okay out there in 11th place. Got a clean car at the moment. And actually he's under pressure from John Watson, who's had a pretty rubbish race through no faults of his own, or bad day I should say. Certainly looking to get further up the field, but no moves at the moment.
Good to see old Rusty racing today. See the Ford out as well. Brave man to take control of that, especially with all the cars that are around him. And here comes John Watson trying to get by Laidler, going into the Piratella. Stand here and then plunging down the hill. Ford in 11th position. 3 positions gained for Laidler so far. He's following Anthony Jacobson, who's lost 3 since the start of the race. And yeah, they are all following Scott Malcolm, as Sam alluded to. Malcolm trying to do some defending as we go into the to Variante Alta. Very close there as Jacobson runs up to the back of the Team Mad Merc, going through the chicane there, and now on the way towards the Ravazza. And we've seen a bit of action in this 3rd race of the day with Smith and Flanagan colliding. And look how late Jacobson is on the brakes there. It looks like he's a bit more confident on the braking than Malcolm, perhaps, going for the final corner. You could see some slipstreaming going on here, Sam, as Malcolm's got no one in front of him. But all of a sudden, Jacobson looks like he's under pressure from Laidler as we come across the line.
Yeah, Laidler's, I think, really good through the Ravazza, and here he goes, straight through. So maybe that Ford's got good straight line speed, certainly looks so. And that was easy as you like. The Laidler, here comes Jacobson back. And Laidler saw it early, did well to defend.
Close there as they went through the Tamburello chicane, so that's Laidler now into 10th. He's cracked the top 10. Anthony Jacobson down to 11th, and he's now feeling the heat from John Watson, who's in 12th place. And who's out of the back? That's Colin Robinson, the Ferrari that stalled at the start of the race. Started in 5th, now down to 13th position, but he could be in 12th as Ferrari starts to look at the back of the Mercedes there. In terms of Ferraris in the field, Colin Robinson, I believe, is the only one. Just having a cycle through myself, and I can't see any Ferrari. Nick Barry as well.
Yeah, they were running the Ferrari GTE, I think, earlier on in the series. So I think that's why they've gone for the Ferrari in these races.
There is no incident limit, should mention today, but the drivers that have accumulated the most incidents are the drivers to the biggest movers in the field. Perhaps no surprises there. Jim Flanagan, 12 incidents so far, along with Anwar Smith. And then Mick Barry with 11th, and Andrew Woodhouse with 10. Don't worry, Woody, I gained loads of incidents at this circuit in the PSR TC, so it is a track that does like to give you a few incident points, similar to Kota in a way there. But yeah, 23 minutes to go, and it is Anwar Smith.
Yeah. Oh, down the inside, not much of a gap, but Cullinan left it open, didn't he? And Smith was not going to need a second invitation.
Didn't need to be asked twice there, Anwar Smith, and how quick was that? About 3 laps for him to close that 3-second buffer, and that is Anwar Smith up into the podium positions. Car 88 up to 3rd, 12 positions gained, and 12 incidents as well, so things come in 12s. And he's now got a 6-second gap to close to Luke Clark. Looking at the lap times, incidentally, Lee Deemer did a 40.5 on that last lap of the circuit. Clark did a 41.4 as Hardy and Malcolm go into battle. This is, we're nearly 3 wide on the exit of the Tosa here. Malcolm just able to pull ahead. Laidler trying to find his own bit of space here as we go into the left-hander. This is turn 6 and plunge back down the hill. And yeah, just quickly finish this lap time talk. Clark 41.4 on that last, and that was half a second slow, just over half a second slower than Smith's last lap time. So I think we could see that gap start to close as Laidler flashes the lights at Carl Hardy.
Yeah, I think Smith might be able to catch up to Clark, 5.5 seconds to catch. So I think he'll fancy his chances. Jacobson right on the tail of Laidler, no chance into the Ravazza. Yeah, I think Laidler's really good through this kind of section of the track. Gets a nice run onto the pit straight, and it kind of allows him to attack the cars ahead, and he's pulled out a nice little lead actually over Anthony Jacobson. Doesn't look like there's going to be too many moves, I think, going into turn 1 this time. They're all kind of just settling in, dare I say. Watson pretty close to Jacobson, but Jacobson pretty early to defend. And Watson just hasn't been able to make the progress so far. He's quicker than these guys as Watson. Earlier on he was going about a second lap faster, so he is being held up. He can't make the move on Anthony Jacobson.
John Watson sat in 12th position, chasing Anthony Jacobson. He was 2 tenths of a second quicker on that last lap. Looking to the outside, going into the Tosa hairpin here. But no way for car 45. So yeah, look at the drive he gets off the corner. Possibly hindered a little bit by the slide on the X as he got onto the AstroTurf. But he's looking at the inside, going over the top of the hill and into the Piratella, even on the grass on the outside. As he goes on the braking, maybe the slightest tag, but he goes off and on again. And thankfully for him, doesn't lose too much time. What's happened to Jim Flanagan? He's off at Aquanim and Arali. The Team Mad Merc getting 2 wheels on the grass and losing control and a few positions to get as well.
Yeah, no, Kip Stevens made an error as well, lost a position to Michael Gray, so you could have just gained 2 positions then, because I think both, yeah, like I said, I think Flanagan made an error, and yeah, really good for, and it was in the same corner as well, so yeah, I don't know if Stevens maybe saw his rival make a mistake. Yeah, he saw his rival make a mistake, and seems to miss the corner there. Gray just went straight past both of them. Thank you very much, up into P5.
It is very easy to do, I must admit.
Yeah.
Following the car off in front, because eventually you get into the wheel tracks of the car in front. Battle between Mick Barry and Andrew Woodhouse, or was. I don't know what happened to Woody, but he's now under pressure from David Ayres in the battle for 17th. Woody on the inside. A little lock up there from Woody, but he maintains it. The honour of the wooden spoon, or sorry, the dishonour of the wooden spoon is at stake. I'm sure a tour of the pit of misery is at stake as well, as John Watson goes off through the Villeneuve chicane. He's lost a few positions now, and that is a shame. Dilly, as John Watson drops down to 14th place.
Yeah, I was just watching the Laidler, Hardy, Malcolm, Jacobson, all those guys fighting. Got a bit chaotic going into turn 1, and yeah, Laidler running in P9 now. And yeah, looking really good is Russell, and looking to get past Carl Hardy. I think Hardy might have a bit too much pace.
I was just about to ask you about the Ford GT, but I'll ask you that in a minute, because here comes Colin Robinson trying to get a move done around the outside going into the Varianzi Alta. This pack is quite big, and yeah, we've got a bit of time now. The Ford GT, have you had a go in it at all, Sam? When was the last time you managed to step foot in that Ford GT?
I don't think I own it, so I'm not.
And neither do I.
Person to ask, to be honest. All I know that it's never been the fastest car, so and I very rarely see people drive it. So yeah, I'm not sure why. Max Wright, by the way, is just coming to the pits for an early pit stop, maybe to fix some of that damage. I think he could be dangerous actually, because this is a good strategy. Get some clear air, and he should. I think he might be able to jump a few drivers actually, and maybe challenge for a top 10.
Well, we are at the halfway mark. We're 17 minutes into the 35-minute race, 17.5 minutes, so that is precisely halfway. So, yeah, pit stops will start to come soon enough. And yeah, the Ford GT, Dennis Melcher, he drove it in the World GT Championship on Monday nights for a little while, and other series as well. We've seen it being well represented. And Max Wright, 16.8 second stop. The rear wing of that Audi looked like someone had sat on it. And as he came into the pits, bit of a narrow pit lane entry as well, Sam. And I wonder if we may see anybody get caught out by that. The pit lane entry line comes up pretty quickly as well.
Yeah, it's difficult on the brakes, and if you got two cars coming in on the same lap, that could definitely be an issue.
Yeah.
And they haven't had any practice today either, so they might be a little bit juvenile and make an error down there. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. And when you've got such a big pack from P8 to P13, wouldn't be at all surprised if we see a couple of drivers pit on the same lap. We'll see if anyone comes in this time, maybe just to cover off Max Wright.
It is funny you should say that. We did an official IMSA Sports Car Series race as Kip Stevens comes into the pits. Two cars came into the pits. The car behind hit the car in front, and the car in front had reached the incident limit and got disqualified. Couldn't quite believe that, but yeah, that is what can happen in this pit lane if you misjudge the entry, as Kip Stevens comes into the pits now, second of the cars to come in for a pit stop. And I wonder if Andrew Woodhouse could get a second position here. He's closed back in though on David Ayres in front, sorry, Mick Barry, and they've got David Ayres for company as well as they come out of the final corner. Ayres bails into the pits, and now here comes Andrew Woodhouse. Mercedes versus Ferrari, a battle we see in Formula 1, but it's the sports cars. The Ferrari blocks the inside, they both go by Kip Stevens, who's leaving the pits. But he's going to go to the outside, the Ferrari brakes on the inside here. But he could get the cut back if he can line him up through Tamburello, which he duly does. Cuts to the inside. Oh! Woody! Well, I thought he'd set him up brilliantly there, but I think that was just a tad unfortunate as the Ferrari of Barry literally dive for that inside line to stop the Yorkshireman getting by.
Yeah, Barry actually lost the rear end coming out there, so it wasn't either driver's fault, I think. And Barry hasn't pitted yet, so he still got a fast repair to use, but a long way back to the pits for him now. But Yeah, I don't think there was too much wrong from Woody there. And he, like you say, he lined it up perfectly, but just got a bit unfortunate with Michael's kind of loss of control.
He didn't get Acronym and Urali line at all well there, but he has now got Kip Stevens for company. Apologies for everyone else, but this is a bit interesting here as John Watson comes into the pits from 12th place. See what Kip can do here. League commentator versus league admin. I think Woody's just gonna let him go by. So yeah, into the pits comes John Watson, the Mercedes who was running well until a trip across the Villeneuve chicane, put him back a few places. Maybe this pit stop can galvanise him into getting a few more places as he trundles down what is probably one of the longest pit lanes on the iRacing service. Of course, nothing will beat Spa Endurance, but yeah, it is one of the long ones. As Kip Stevens looks like he's going to beat out John Watson. That's no major surprise. I think Kip Stevens was ahead before the pit stops began anyway. But yeah, some of the pit stops beginning here, and Anwar Smith is getting closer and closer to Luke Clark. Sam, now he's within half a second as he set a lap time on the last lap, just 1/10 off the fastest lap of the race, which he currently holds.
Yeah, Smith is driving absolutely insane right now. He's consistently about half a second lap faster, and there he goes. So Clark just let him pass there, didn't he? I just looked away a little bit there. It wasn't like a loss of control or anything. Just decided to lift off, didn't he?
Indeed, so Anwar Smith through into second place. That's 13 positions gain now. He's 8 seconds away from Lee Deemer, and they're lapping pretty similar lap times. So I think it will be interesting to see if he can get anywhere near him. I think it's going to be pretty tough. Jim Flanagan, last time I checked, still top of the incident list. No, that's Andrew Woodhouse, I'm afraid. Mick Barry with 20. Flanagan now in. Woody with a 36.3 second stop. That looks like full 4 tyres and service for Woody. So he's going to have the new tyres, but he's going to have to close in on Mick Barry in front to get anywhere near him, I think. Away goes Flanagan. 11 second stop. Laidler in the Ford is still sat in the box. He's doing a 16 second stop, 17, 18, maybe 20 second stop for him. He's revving the engine. You can hear the Ford revving there in the pit box. Well, it's going to be almost as long as Woody's stop here. The clock's still ticking. Away he goes, 30.8 seconds. I don't know whether that's just the Ford with the way it does pit stops, or he's taken fuel and tyres, but yeah, very long stop for Laidler there.
Yeah, really odd. Tyres would be longer than that, but fuel, of course, would be much shorter than that, so I'm not sure what's happened. It seemed to be pretty desperate to get out, so it wasn't optional with repairs, so yeah, that's kind of ruined Laidler's race.
I think he sped in the pit lane, basically. I've got it paused as he crossed the line, and he was at 110 kilometers an hour, and the pit lane speed limit here is 60, so no surprises there why he was held for an extra 20 seconds.
Yeah, I can't complain too much about that one. They do, of course, leave you a bit of leeway, but not 50 kilometers an hour.
Yeah, it's the same with like a speed camera. If you're doing 35 in a 30 zone, from what I'm told anyway, I have a driver's license, but I don't have a car. From what I'm told though, if you do about 34 in a 30 zone, you do get away with it. If you're doing 60 in a 30, that's when you get the license points. In real life. Into the pits have come Lee Deemer, Luke Clark, Ralph Cullinan and Anthony Jacobson, leaving the top 5, Smith, Gray, Hardy, Malcolm and Robinson, yet to stop. Deemer, insanely quick pit stop, 8.3 seconds. He's obviously confident in the Mercedes fuel tank to get him to the end of the race. Hopefully that pays off. Luke Clark, 13 second stop, 15.4 for Cullinan, Anthony Jacobson 11.4, and it's going to be interesting to see, Sam, now that Deemer's coming from the lead. Very short pit stop, same with John Watson, 7.3 seconds. Obviously, they believe they've got the fuel to get to the end, and now it's up to Anwar Smith to respond and see what he can do to potentially close the gap.
Yeah, Anwar's now on lower fuel load, so theoretically should be quite a bit faster now. He'll stay out as long as he can, obviously. He's got clear air, unless he perhaps catches up to the lapped runners. Will Smith hit this time? Yes, he will. So he didn't have too much more fuel to go, and pretty good on pit entry there. Every 10th counts, because I don't think he's going to catch up to Lee realistically. But you know, he'll give it his all, and it needs to be a really quick swap. At least you've got to be less than 8 seconds here to stand a chance.
Michael Gray joins him in the pits here as well. Where is Dima? He's just coming into the Ravazza now. Smith is 6 seconds into his stop. 9.7 seconds. He's away, but he's still got to do a good half of the pit lane here. So that's going to be Dima back into the lead. Carl Hardy takes the lead right now because he hasn't stopped. Here comes Dima. And Scott Malcolm gets to stop as well. Maybe this could be a lifeline for Anwar Smith here. If he gets held up behind Malcolm, he's got a lot of damage front end of that Merc. Dima comes, Smith comes out. Still 8 seconds, so you're right, Stan. I think it's going to be a tall order for him to get anywhere near him. Race order then. Carl Hardy leads. Scott Malcolm seconds. Dima ineffective first. Then it's Anwar Smith in fourth. Fifth Clark. Then it's Rafe Cullinan, who's just got ahead of Michael Gray. And Flanagan, Robinson, Watson, Stevens, Jacobson, Wright, Laidler, Ayres, Barry, and the back of the field, a lap down is Andrew Woodhouse in 17th place.
That massive pack that we saw earlier on, it's really spread out actually during the pit stops. Just saw Colin Robinson just come out of the pits, and he's 1.7 seconds clear of Jacobson. Stevens, actually, we saw him coming out of the pits earlier on, actually made a mistake, I think about a minute after that, didn't see it myself, but he lost a position to John Watson, and he hasn't been able to make it back since then. So Stevens lost about 5 seconds with an error, and hasn't been able to make it up since. And yeah, that midfield is really just spread out, considering that they were all within about 4 seconds of each other at one point.
Oli Dima has got past Scott Malcolm, and as Carl Hardy pits, and so does Scott Malcolm, that completes the cycle of pit stops. So Dima back to the front with 7 minutes to go. It's a 1 minute 40 lap around here, so we haven't got too many more to go here in this feature race. Andrew Woodhouse is done. He's towed back to the pits. Has this been a crash? Oh, now what happened here? Going into the... Oh, no, it looks like, he's exited the Discord as well, so we'll never find out. Going for the final corner. Oh, he gets into the gravel, Sam. And then he tries to save it, but the grass has other ideas and sends him into the concrete wall, and that's race over.
Yeah, I saw that in the back of the picture actually earlier on. Wasn't quite sure what was going on. Thought that was a bit of an odd pit entry line, but yeah, Woody back to the pits and out to the race. Hasn't been a brilliant race for him, but hopefully he'll be back next week.
Been with us for the 2 races tonight, and in the car for the final one. I'm sure he's gone to play some Fortnite or something, just to take away the slight edge from what happened there at the end. You'll hear Andrew Woodhouse tomorrow, hopefully on the World GT Championship, which will be on Apex Racing TV here. Not too long to go in that championship either. We're quickly approaching the end of the season, right in the thick of it now, and pretty close at the top of the championship standing. So you can watch that tomorrow at 8 PM BST on Apex Racing TV. No Ritmo Tech Sportscar series this week. But we'll have the BSR MX-5 on Tuesday, BSR TC on Thursday. I'll be on the cameras for that one with Andrew Woodhouse. Alex Simpson will be in the car, as always, in the BSR TC this year. Pretty good start to the season there as well. And of course we'll have the AOR Formula Renaults Friday. Were you broadcasting that one on Friday last week, Sam?
Oh, so you gotta be more specific, you know.
There's so many broadcasts, yeah.
I think it was me, Woody, and Alex on Friday. I think, not quite sure.
Was it a good race meeting?
Yeah, it was good. It was back to the normal sprint race and feature race, which I think is a little bit better. And yeah, I think we saw 2 different winners, and yeah, it was quite entertaining.
Yeah, there I was last time when I was doing when I was part of the broadcast team for the Formula Renaults. I was expecting a few races. Turned out I was only meant to be there for one. Change for position. This is Carl Hardy ahead of Anthony Jacobson and Max Wright. I think that's what's anyway. right in the Audi, new Audi as well. You can see the rear wing is looking a lot better than when we last looked at it. This could be a change for position here as we come out of the final corner. Time to see the straight line speed that the Audi has under the bonnet here as we come across the line. Jacobsen covers the inside here, and we'll see what the Audi can do. So. And gets him through. There we go. That's him through. Max right up into 11th position now. This is back to where he started. Very good livery, I should say, as well on the Audi there. Don't know I've got the same at home with the chromoly emblazoned across on the windscreen strip. Just to make you aware, Sam, with 3.5 minutes to go, and while Smith's not going away, he's just put in a new fastest lap of the race, 1.5 seconds quicker than Dima. Potentially a bit of fuel saving on Dima's part because he had a very quick pit stop. He's got to get to the end here.
I just looked at Anwar Smith, and first thing I saw, he was 2 wheels in the air, probably 3 wheels in the air, over the curbs on the first chicane. I think he's just absolutely giving it his all. Like it's frustrating because Anwar so deserves a win today, and doesn't really look like it's going to go his way. The Dima looks like he's going to hold on.
Well, he had a massive moment going through Tamburello there. Had a massive tank slapper, and they're in the same shot as they go into the Villeneuve chicane. 3.7 seconds is the gap, with just under 3 minutes to go. You're going to have to go a bit quicker than that, Anwar, as well, to get anywhere near him. Laidler has put a pitting in message on the chat, which means that he could be pitting in at the end of this one. May have either short fueled or something else wrong. The Ford GT bounces its way across those Imola curves, and again Dima stays out, maybe just a slip of the button, as the gap is now 3.4 seconds as Dima continues to lead, closing in on Malcolm. Battle between Gray and Flanagan. That's Gray battling with the BMW.
Yeah, and Gray's just got past, I think. Oh, was there an error actually from Cullinan? Cullinan was slow going into the chicane, and I think they just let him past that. So Cullinan drops down. Hasn't been a great third race. I thought Cullinan would be kind of solid podium, maybe just behind Dima and Smith. But hasn't really turned out that way. Still solid points in 5th place in Cullinan.
Max Wright's just got another position as well. He's just got past Carl Hardy, so that's the Audi now up into 10th. He's cracked the top 10 with just over 90 seconds to go here. Whereabouts is Dima on the circuit? He's only got 90 seconds to go. He's just coming into the Piratella, so this is the penultimate lap of the race. We'll get one more in after this one. Yeah, any other close battles on the circuit as we enter the closing stages. Credit to John Watson, he's now found himself up in 7th position, 9 positions gained, so he's the second biggest mover after Anwar Smith. But that pit stop window has worked an absolute treat for him. Further up the field, you've got Jim Flanagan, who was one of the biggest movers earlier on, but a few mistakes, in particular the one at Aquinum and Raleigh, has dropped the Team Ad Merc down to 6th position. 6 positions gained as well for him. And tell you what, Sam, with just a few seconds left to go on the clock at the top, it looks like that John Watson could fancy his chances of getting past Flanagan here in the closing stages here.
Yeah, Watson's had so much bad luck in the first 2 races. Seems to go his way. Now he's on the grass, hasn't lost too much time. Thought that may have been over for Watson now. Could have easily gone way wide in the second part of that corner. And it's still staying close, 8 tenths, lost a couple of tenths. But he hasn't got that much overspeed. He was a tenth faster on the last lap. Just got to get as close as possible. Maybe help get the slipstream to help him. But going to be difficult to make it on the last lap because I don't think he's going to have a chance into turn 1.
Yeah, last lap. White flag in the air, 10 seconds left on the clock, so this will be the final lap for Lee Dima. What a race it's been for him as Watson and Flanagan still pretty close as they come out of the final corner. What is the gap at the front? It is down to 2.5 seconds. I think Dima's either measuring the gap at the front or he is just definitely making sure that he's got enough in the tank to get to the end. He still looks like he's pushing it pretty hard. 40.5 on that last lap by Anwar Smith, half a second, just 1/10 quicker than the race leader, Lee Dima. For Aquinum and O'Reilly for the final time. Up the hill we go. up into Variante out to the gap down to 2.3 seconds. Now it's the run down the hill, which would help if you ran out of fuel here, because you should make it back after that. But yeah, the gap down to 2.1. Going to be too late, I think. Even if Dima does run out of fuel, he should be pretty safe from here. Through the final corner goes the Mercedes. Dima started on the pole. He's led every lap. He may not have the fastest lap, but he's going to take the checker flag here as we go out of the final corner, the Ravazza, and to the checker flag. Lee Dima wins the feature final race here in the BSR IMSA series. Dima wins second place for Anwar Smith, and coming through to complete the podium a long way back, it is Luke Clark. He comes out of the final corner and he will finish on the final spot on the podium. Watson v Flanagan, then Sam. It's still pretty close, but it looks like Flanagan just has enough in hand here going into the final two corners.
Yeah, Kip Stevens was 3 seconds faster than Flanagan on the last lap, so he's tried to get involved. Flanagan looks like he's going to hold on. Watson hasn't been able to formulate a overtake. He's going to be close to the line here, Watson. Flanagan needs all the fuel he can get. I think he's going to be okay. Watson P7, Flanagan P6, and Stevens only just behind in the end. That mistake really cost him earlier on. He finishes in 8th.
For the rest of them to come across the line now. Got Carl Hardy coming across the line here with no bonnet on the front of his car. He takes 12th. Colin Robinson in the Ferrari that didn't get moving at the beginning finishes in 13th. Here comes Laidler. Ford GT finishing where it started in 14th, and the two cars have finished laps down. We've got David Ayres and Barry already crossed the line, so that is how it finished. Right, let's run you through the finishing order then. In the final race of the day here in the BSR IMSA at Imola. Dima wins as Anwar Smith teases Smith that they had actually an extra lap, but I'm sure Dima wasn't worrying about that at all. Anwar Smith finishing in second place. Shame for Anwar, second place in race 1, had a crash in race 2. Had to fight all the way back to get a second place here in race 3. Still a good haul of points though for Smith. Then Luke Clark in third, fourth for Michael Gray. Cullinan finishing in fifth after starting on the front row. The BMW just not able to live, I think, with the pace, especially on the long straight at the front of the circuit. Flanagan in sixth, seventh John Watson, eighth for Kip Stevens, ninth for Scott Malcolm, Max Rice in 10th, Anthony Jacobson finishing in 11th place, Carl Hardy in 12th, 13th for Colin Robinson, the Ferrari, 14th for Laidler in the Ford, David Ayres in 15th, Mick Barry a lap down in 16th, and Andrew Woodhouse, he tried, finished in 17th place. So just a little bit of an update that Anwar Smith finished with 0.3, I'm guessing, litres left in the car. And Sam, the precise measurements that these drivers do when they're calculating the fuel being shown to full effect there.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. So I wonder, you might be onto something with Dima maybe fuel saving near the end, because he was losing a lot of time. Smith was, yeah, giving it so much, so aggressive. He drove brilliantly in that second race. Remember, he was, one point he was about 12 seconds off the lead. Had to make a couple more overtakes as well. Made them with ease. And yeah, 50 seconds clear of some of the drivers that he started behind in the end. So superb from Anwar Smith in that third race.
Well then, you're forced to the race meeting, Sam. Obviously the two sprint races earlier on, and this final feature race. Imola, I think, a good circuit that lends itself to GT racing.
Yeah, definitely. The first race was kind of more tense than anything. And of course it really culminated in Smith going for the move. I think it was on Cullinan? Not quite sure, but the fight for the lead was absolutely superb out there. And then the second race we had the super close finish right to the line, went to the Ravazza on the final lap to decide it, and that last race Smith nearly brought it back, not quite. And I think constantly kind of that the drivers from about 7th to 14th were always in a line in each of the races. It was really good racing between those lot, and yeah, another really good meeting.
Well, we'll look forward to the next one. My thanks to Sam for being in the commentary box today, Fitzpatrick for being alongside me, and Andrew Woodhouse earlier on, and to Sam Kuma for doing the cameras. Hope Sam has a good break away, taking over from the broadcast for a few weeks or a week or so. And we'll miss him, but we'll hope to see him back in a few weeks. And yeah, the next broadcast for us is tomorrow at around about 8 PM BST, the World GT Championship. If you want to see more GT action and a lot more of them on the circuit, make sure you join us for that one. It's not to be missed. But for now, from the BSR IMSA series and from all of us here at the Autodromo, Enzo Adino Ferrari, bye for now.